So one of the biggest events that's happening right now in quantum is the GTC Nvidia event. So that's over in San Jose, California, and they're releasing some cool stuff there that you can see all the new tech. But on top of that, they have the quantum computing conference part where they're basically showing the top companies. If you guys aren't familiar, take a look over here. You can go to GTC, check out quantum computing on Thursday, March 20th is when they're having this. And check this out. You got some of the top companies here, most of which are private, one of which might be IPOing soon. So we'll definitely be covering that. But also take a look at the top 3 quantum computing stocks that could have some catalytic growth over the next few days as a result of this event. So they're live in 1 day from now, tomorrow morning. Let's take a look here. So the first stock on the list is Rigetti. The CEO will be speaking there. And you can see Rigetti stock has been having this trend. We're actually trading it this morning in our live session in StockMate. We go live every morning. If you want to watch me trade live, it's that second link in the description. And you can see this trend that's starting to develop. So one of the things we were looking at this morning was, hey, if we see this recovery where it continues this trend, that could be quite good for Rigetti. Now with today's sell-off, if we see it hold this level above $9.50, then tomorrow during that event, if we see any catalysts that could potentially make Rigetti grow, it's a live stream. It's going to be on the internet. There is thousands of people watching, and most likely we could see something like this continue it in this trend of about 10 to 20% if they have a good day tomorrow. Now, of course, the opposite could be true. Let's say that the sentiment is not good. I'm imagining that it's going to be good. It's possible Jensen makes comments about his comment, but all the companies basically changed their branding. So a lot of them said quantum is right now. We're doing it right now. And that helped recover the market. So let's take a look at the overall Rigetti outlook. 3 things we're looking at. The quantum computing market is growing quite fast. It's seeing increases in revenue. The profit margins are narrowing just a little bit. And take a look at Rigetti here. You take the past few months, started covering the stock back in November, and it surged to essentially $21 before selling off after the big comments from Nvidia that were not bullish. Then we saw a big recovery up to $16 before selling back down. And now you can see it's starting to recover, recently sold back down a little bit, but starting to touch on this 200-day moving average that potentially, if it holds above right here, we could see it maybe get back into some green territory. Now, recovery to previous highs on the chart side of things looks like about, let's see, what is that? 100% from current price. So 100%, 110% from current price. But again, we potentially could see it sell down tomorrow. I would imagine we're going to see more of a bullish outlook, but we'll have to see how that event goes. Now, with Rigetti stock, there's one thing about the news with Rigetti. If you take a look at their company over here, they haven't had any big articles in the past 2 or 3 weeks. They reported earnings, which we'll get into the financials. But when it comes to some of their new partnerships, they did get this strategic collaboration agreement with Quanta Computer to accelerate development and commercialization of superconducting quantum computing. One of the biggest issues with all quantum computers, aside from maybe data storage or just improving the fidelity of the individual qubits, is this quantum computer plugging into a business? And that's the question, because investors want to see revenue, and the company's service to the world most likely will be biggest if it's contributing in a commercial way. Rigetti notoriously has been making great advancements, but they haven't been in the commercial space too heavily. They've made some sales of their quantum computers. They're starting to get there, but just with this partnership, this is a Taiwan-based Fortune 500 company, Quanta, and it's a global leader of computer server manufacturing to accelerate the development of commercialization of superconducting quantum computing here. Now, the companies have committed to investing more than $100 million each over the next 5 years, with both sides focusing their complementary strengths to develop quantum computing technologies. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The quantum computing industry, this is what it says here, is on rapid growth in the next 5 years, with increasing commercial interest and market expected to reach 1 to 2 billion a year by 2030. That is based on Rigetti's estimate. We heard that there was $1 billion done in revenue from IBM's quantum computing. We also heard from IBM and Microsoft over at the CES conference that they were expecting the quantum computing industry to be in the trillions of dollars over the next few years, in the coming years. So I don't know about this $1 to 2 billion a year. That could be a revenue point maybe for this company, but overall market, that seems pretty conservative, given that a lot of these companies, I mean, their valuations are already well over that amount. So anyway, aside from that, you have to look at that article. It looks good. The CEO saying that the Quanta is the world's leading notebook and server manufacturer with 43 billion in annual sales, will help put us at the forefront of the quantum computing industry. So essentially, they're going into more of this innovative architecture to service businesses potentially, and that is a key move that Rigetti needs to make. And it'll make sense now, because when you look at Rigetti stock and you take a look at where they're at, you see them starting to commercialize a little bit. You could find them on Amazon's AWS, which is, it runs Netflix, it runs even Robinhood that we're doing our analysis on. It runs a lot of companies for data, and you could tap into using the cloud to store your data on AWS. And you can see Rigetti superconducting quantum processors are available to tap into through the cloud with AWS. Now, this is something that we didn't get a lot of mention about in their recent earnings calls, but you could see providing AWS customers access to Rigetti QPU, so quantum processing units, is an important part of accelerating the commercialization of quantum computing. And their collaboration enables users to develop quantum algorithms using our state-of-the-art quantum hardware, enabling a wide range of application and research progress that will guide the industry forward. So you got AWS, okay, you got the Microsoft Rigetti, so you can tap in through the cloud on Microsoft Azure. And then on top of that, it's like, okay, that looks great. What's the revenue like? And that's where things got interesting, because they just reported their earnings and the company was down on their net income. They spent 150 million and the revenue is just 2 million. So, or their net income was negative there, you can see. And that's not good year over year. That's in the red. Now, previously, the few quarters, the net income was in the green. It was improving year over year, starting to narrow that gap, and revenue was, it's kind of holding steady around $2 to $3 million a quarter. And then just recently, revenue stayed the same, but that net income dropped pretty heavily. So they missed that earnings per share, missed the revenue. So this commercialization moves that they're making right now is key. And I'll explain why. But still, because they haven't made that move and it hasn't matured, they haven't bridged that gap. I'll tell you what, this company is on track to do exactly that. So let's see if they do it. That would bring them from number 3 to maybe number 2, or maybe even number 1. And number 2 is IonQ. Take a look at this surge that started to happen after it bounced at this 200-day moving average, starting to push up against this EMA line. If we see a recovery to some of those previous highs, IonQ would surge about 140%. Outside of that potential recovery, which is not guaranteed, in fact, right now it's still struggling to break above this EMA, but looks like it's starting to bounce, is the fact that they have this new technology in trapped ion quantum computers that's starting to gain a lot of traction. Now, this company, when they heard the announcement from Jensen at Nvidia, see this new headline? Nvidia's CEO said that quantum is 10, 15 years away. IonQ came in, changed their headline to quantum is now. And quantum computing has the potential to change the world. And IonQ is leading the way. You can see they say improved drug discovery. So they're talking about how they bind peptide proteins, or they're finding different cures for different diseases. Quantum machine learning, so that's smarter robots, homes, cars, and more. Direct carbon sequestration. How about scrubbing the atmosphere for like scrubbing the CEO, the C, scrubbing the CO2 from the air in the atmosphere. That's something they're doing. Now, look at their partners. You got Nvidia, so that makes sense why they're speaking at Nvidia GTC. If they have an announcement, let's say something comes out tomorrow morning and it's really groundbreaking, this could be huge, and that event is going to play a key role in them seeing some growth. So we'll see how that reacts, how their announcements react, and we'll see what that looks like. Now, Air Force Research Lab, that's huge. Lockheed Martin, so they're in the space industry. Microsoft and Google Cloud, as well as Amazon Bracket, are some of their partners. You can see some of their quantum computers and how to tap into them through the cloud. This company has a lot of growth ahead from news. If you take a look at their recent article just released yesterday, IonQ Executive Chair joins panel with Nvidia CEO to discuss quantum at Nvidia's first ever Quantum Day. Now, IonQ to underscore position as a leading commercial player in quantum computing and networking alongside collaborators and partners, Amazon Web Services, and more. If you look at this, San Jose, March 20th, tomorrow, they're going to have this. And IonQ, it says, is looking forward to joining NVIDIA's GTC's day. And Chapman, the CEO, I believe it is that the CEO? Not the CEO. But yeah, Chapman is the CEO. Our focus... Oh, that's weird. I guess Chapman used to be the CEO, but maybe he isn't now. Anyway, you can see that one of the announcements from IonQ says, our focus on commercial grade quantum systems is in enabling real world applications across industries, and we look forward to demonstrating significant progress at GTC. So they're seeing this event right now as a key place to make those announcements. And you can see Executive Chair Peter Chapman will join Nvidia founder and CEO Jensen in the other quantum industry leaders at an exclusive panel discussion. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm excited to see what that means for IonQ. As far as IonQ's financials go, they just haven't really hit that hard. We've been looking at them. They see the net income really coming up short. So we got to see, the revenue is increasing. That's good. You see the revenue over 10 million now. It's starting to improve. That quarter three was up 100% year over year, 91% year over year in quarter four. But that net income still down. It's down 382% there year over year. So that's not what you like to see. You want to see them generate some more cash. I mean, I think we all would agree that would be nice. It's funny. So here it says Peter Chapman's the CEO. In that article we just saw, it says that, let's see, it says that Niccolo De Masi is the CEO. So yeah, it's some changes there at IonQ. But financials aside, everything looks really bullish. But again, you want to see those financials catch up, see what type of contracts they are getting. And also, it's at this previous support right now. This previous support oftentimes will act as a resistance, and it might here. You can see that it got rejected. So a break above that $27.50 range would be right around that 200-day moving average and starting to recover there to possibly previous highs. So we'll see if it reaches that level. I think there will be some catalysts here this week. The Fed rate cuts not happening and just kind of unchanged with the rates is okay. That's fine. And then as we get into this year, there's going to be more rate cuts as what we're expected since December. So holding off a little bit longer, but that could be good for the market as well. So IonQ, number 2. Number 1 is the one that has the most commercial usage, and that is QBTS. QBTS recovered to previous highs in this past week. It soared from $4.30 up to $12.15. That is why we like to trade the quantum computing companies. When we trade them, there's a lot of opportunities to make money. And in this world, I would say with where we're going with AI, there's more opportunities to make money investing in quantum than in any other market right now. That's my prediction. Any other market, maybe AI is the second best contender. Oil and gas, I think, is super underrated. But quantum computing, I think more often than not, we're going to see gains as opposed to losses over the next few years. So I'm really looking forward to trading more of these. QBTS has the Qubits conference, but they're also speaking at GTC. And this Qubits conference 2025 will be there. They recently had an announcement, QBTS, D-Wave, that they have some new tech that's enabling them to achieve quantum supremacy. So if you guys are familiar, if you go to D-Wave, go to their website, feel free to check it out. They didn't do too good on their last earnings, but I'll tell you what, again, first to demonstrate quantum supremacy on useful real world problems. Well, they have partnerships with MasterCard. I think it's, is it Hyundai or Volkswagen? They're in all industries from food to Ford to also cellular and data connection. So they work with all types of companies, and you can see they have their own cloud service. Their quantum computers are the fastest response times with the least amount of downtime compared to any other quantum computers available to tap into through the cloud right now. So they have their cloud service, so you could use these quantum computers. They're making sales of their quantum computers, and they're expecting their revenue to grow pretty fast. If you take a look at QBTS stock notoriously has had some financial struggles. Like, we want to see them do better. But after seeing their revenue hover around 2 million a quarter and then just about 2.3 million this last quarter, they gave out this announcement as well in those earnings that their next revenue target is 10 million in revenue. $10 million in revenue is what they're projecting for quarter one. So they're about to see basically a 4x in their average amount of revenue. We'll see. The other thing that 4x'd is their net income negatively. So hopefully that doesn't 4x. Hopefully their revenue increases, but their net income goes down over the next few months. And we'll see what happens when they report quarter one. But definitely on the D-Wave train and just looking at the commercial use, because they focus more on the commercial use, and they're well positioned with the location in Palo Alto, California, with all the tech companies there. I could imagine that they're going to see some of the fastest growth because they are the most plugged in to businesses worldwide as opposed to any other quantum computing companies in the world. So we'll be watching D-Wave very closely. We have them at the #1 spot. Even though they recover, they look very overextended. I think they might get rejected and sell down a little bit more. But if there's a few announcements, we'll look out for some catalysts over here in not only GTC, but also in that Qubits conference. So we'll be watching closely. I would imagine a little bit of a sell-off here, but there is a key resistance that it's holding right now, which is this previous resistance right here is acting as a support. Do you see this? Previous resistance acting as a support. The hyper bull case is that now this EMA is here. This is actually its new bottom, and it's pricing in at a higher price. That's possible, but I think what's more likely is we're going to see it sell back down maybe to this support around $8 or $9 and then continue up, or give us a little bit more of a pullback, a little bit more of a healthy increase rather than just increasing based on some of the news they came out with, or their earnings showing that next quarter they plan to make more revenue. We still didn't see more revenue in that quarter, and we didn't see more profits. So you got to keep that in mind. We'll be definitely looking for opportunities in the markets tomorrow in quantum. If you guys want to watch me trade live, we go live every day at market open at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this morning it went great. We were trading CTM stock. We were trading Rigetti stock. Our portfolio is up about 6.9% today. I think we, in cumulative day trades, made a little bit over $500 in profit today. So if you want to watch me trade live at market open, again, it's that second link in the description. You get to see my entries and my exits there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. These are our top 3. What are your top 3? Do you have any other quantum companies you're watching? Leave them below. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.